Hola e benvinguts a Under the Visor, a podcast setmanal de Formula 1 on de nostrales sap exactament de què parla.
The hell was that?
That was Catalan for hello and welcome to Under the Visor, the weekly Formula 1 podcast where one of us knows exactly what he's talking about.
See?
It's what they speak in Barcelona.
Oh.
See, you're getting it.
Okay. I'll do my bit in that. And the other, we still very much are learning. That's Italian, isn't it? I suppose Ferrari won, so.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
True. Spoiler.
And the other one is still very much learning.
El mi nom es Karl.
You going to do that for the whole podcast?
No, that's as far as I got with Google Translate.
And I'm Tom.
And this week we're diving into the Barcelona Grand Prix weekend.
Are we? Maybe.
No, I profusely apologise for my poor Spanish.
You won't be able to stand
or Catalonian
any of it, but yes, you'll be able to stand 50% of the podcast. The rest will be in Spanish. And what a weekend to dive into. Lewis Hamilton finally wins his race for Ferrari. Kimi Antonelli suffers a heartbreak later on. It was coming. Yeah. George Russell returns to the podium, and we've got another post-race penalty changing the final results.
We do. Plus, we've still got Monaco causing chaos after the checkered flag. Alonso potentially saying goodbye to Barcelona. And ex-F1 drivers winning Le Mans. And to top it all off, a big FIA engine regulation update.
So there's quite a lot to get through.
Yeah. So we will crack on with In the News. Speaking of Monaco, it wasn't just the teams moaning after the race. The FIA documents have actually explained what went wrong.
Exactly. The issue was around the Monaco pit lane timing loops. The FIA have said Monaco had 9 pit lane timing loops, as we tried to explain last week, and all because of the layout, multiple distances could not be measured between the same pairs of loops, basically. Yeah.
So the system was calculating speeds based on the distance between those loops.
And Alpine's case was that the measured distance used for Gasly's pit lane speed calculation was wrong, which made it look like he was speeding when he wasn't.
Yeah. So the FIA have basically admitted the timing measurement was wrong.
Yes, the official documents confirm that calculation issues, and that's why penalties were retracted, rescinded. Yeah. The awkward bit is that other drivers had already served their penalties during the race, and these can't really be undone in the same way.
Yeah, which is why it's become such a big talking point this week.
Exactly. It's not just Gasly. It's about whether everyone affected by the same system was treated fairly.
Yeah, so I'm right in saying they get 96 hours to appeal, don't they?
It's something like that. And also it's kind of...
They can extend it by 24 hours if... Well, the FIA can extend that 96 hours by 24 hours if they feel that there's a case there, but none of the other teams bothered.
No, and I can kind of understand why. You kind of accept it and move on. Alpine got a podium, so they were obviously more inclined to argue.
I have read that Red Bull are keeping the trophy.
I think they'll probably give it to him in the end, but there'll be some camaraderie before that. So
yeah, there was a bit of Max. Have you got the trophy? No. Red Bull, have you got the trophy? No. Hadjar, have you got the trophy? No.
Yeah.
Has anyone got the trophy?
And there'll be this thing. It's a bit like when Lando broke the trophy. I think it was in Hungary. There was a big thing where they were like, "Oh, I'll replace it," and then Lando sort of had to hand it over. And there'll be a funny thing so that's stuff to come. But there will be a funny handing over ceremony at some point. So Well, Le Mans.
Stepping away from F1.
Le Mans.
Yeah, Le Mans. Le Mans has happened, and some ex-F1 drivers were right in the middle of it.
Yes, they were. Nick de Vries and Kamui Kobayashi. Won Le Mans.
You remembered his name this time.
Well, what did I think he was called? Kimi. I was close. It had a K in it.
Kimi.
Won the Le Mans for Toyota. Toyota seemed to always win Le Mans and alongside Mike Conway.
Yeah, proper redemption style for De Vries.
Yeah, he's crap in F1. In fact, they all were. But anyway, but they had a very good car. His F1 career didn't really work out the way people expected. But endurance racing is a different discipline, and winning Le Mans is huge. It really is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but there were some other F1 drivers in the mix as well, weren't
16 ex-F1 drivers took part, including Kobayashi and De Vries, Buemi, Hartley.
Yeah, that's the name I remember. Don't recognise that name. He
was terrible. Magnussen.
Sure. I know Magnussen.
Sargent. Terrible.
I recognise Sargent.
Giovinazzi and others. Giovinazzi was quite good, actually. It's also, there were some older ones there, which were quite good. But yeah, it's like it's a stomping ground for people who have done F1 and, you know, they want to do Le Mans as well. I mean, when we say these guys were rubbish, they're still amazing drivers.
They're still better than us.
Debatable. But they're still amazing drivers. But in F1, it shows up any weaknesses. And Brandon Hartley, yeah, awful.
Better or worse than Lance Stroll?
I'd say he's very much on par. He did a lot less races, but yeah. Lance Stroll is probably going to go down in history as one of the worst probably the worst F1 driver of all time. So you're watching history being made.
Well, yeah, but it does kind of show that leaving F1 doesn't really end your racing career.
No, not at all. They'll all go on to do something else. In some cases, drivers go on to have even more success outside Formula One. Jenson Button, for instance, went on and did WEC. He did Super Formula in Japan. You know, he's been world champion in other things, and you know they don't stop. Formula One, unless you're Fernando Alonso or Lewis Hamilton now, because he's, you know, been around since the war, is normally a very short period of your actual career. Maybe 10 years at a push if you're really lucky. Most Formula One drivers are there for 2 or 3 years, and they go off and they go and do something else. It's very rare that you'll see an F1 driver do, you know. I mean, if you think back, Fernando Alonso, I remember he was talking to Martin Brundle in 2018, and he thought it would be his last race. It's now, he's probably going to be around another 2 years at least. And
well, talking of Alonso, apparently he said it's probably his last Barcelona race in F1.
Yes, this is technically true, but that's only because they're not going to go and race at Barcelona next year. So he's quite cleverly worded it, but it's an emotional one. Alonso had his first test at Barcelona, and it's always been special for him. And because the race isn't on the calendar next year, it may wait, or probably the year after. Let's be realistic. It's probably going to be a mad ring for the next 10 years or something like that.
Well, apparently they're gonna rotate.
Maybe. There's been rumours that may not happen now, and that mad ring will whatever. So we'll wait and see on that one. But yes, I mean, he did his first test in Minardi at Barcelona, so, you know, long time ago.
And there's more rumours with him. This one's potentially a little bit spicy. There's rumours of a possible return to Alpine.
Yeah, reports have linked on Alonso with a shock Alpine move for 2027, which would be massive, considering it's the Enstone team where he won 2 of his world championships, 2005, 2006. That shows how long he's been around. Right, he won his championships in 2005 and 2006. When it was Renault, it's still the same people. It's just called something else at the moment. I think that would be... I think out of him retiring, him not going back to Barcelona, I think this is the most likely rumour. I think he would like to end his career where it all began. Which
I was just going to say, could it be a 2027 move, retirement season?
Potentially, yeah, it could be. What's Minardi now? Not sure. I'd have to look that up. What team is Minardi now?
Minardi was an Italian automobile.
Yeah, but what did it turn into? It may not have turned into anything. It may have gone, but I have a feeling it's one of the teams now.
Minardi Formula One was 1985 to 1993. Then you had Minardi, Scuderia Italia, and Fondmetal in 94 to 2000. And then European Minardi, 2001 to 2005. Then it was purchased by Red Bull.
Ah, there we go. It's Red Bull.
And then Giancarlo Minardi reacquired certain rights to use the Minardi name in racing in 2006.
Yeah, so it's Red Bull
in junior Euro form.
So it's the Red Bull.
Yeah, basically Red Bull.
Yeah, all he did was he wanted to call his team, carry on calling his team Minardi. It was good to see Pete Sauber. I don't know if you noticed that Peter Sauber was in the garage at Audi. So Peter Sauber was the Sauber team. He was, and then obviously it's now called Audi. So it was nice to see him in the garage again. You know, having a look around because it's his team still. Really, it's just Audi brought him out and he's retired. But yeah, that was nice to see him in the back of the garage again.
You've seen sidetrack. Lego are bringing out a Lego Technic Kick Sauber Formula One car. Sorry, it's an Aston Martin, but it's in the Kick Sauber colours. They've got the colours a little bit wrong.
I haven't seen this. No.
So, I've shared it to you.
Right.
But there's some people saying it is the Aston Martin F1 car.
They've got the colours wrong and it looks like a Kick Sauber.
It's very similar to the Kick Sauber colours. They've also got the back wheels wrong.
Brilliant. Well done, Lego. But yes, so yes, you it could be a full circle thing, but we do need to, it's paddock speculation at the moment, and it's not confirmed.
Yes. Yeah.
But as I said, that's,
no.
Yeah.
And then the FIA have now officially confirmed the 60-40 split to happen by 2028, but with a slight increase next year.
And this is all about the balance between internal combustion power and electrical power under the new regulations. And it should keep going back to combustion.
Yeah. You
know, I know we might have saved a Panda or something like that, or idiots can suck on the exhaust and not die because it's Formula One. It's not scale electrics.
Yeah. No, but it has been quite a big talking point for the teams because they've been concerned at how extreme the original 26 concept could be.
Exactly. The FIA adjusting the split is basically trying to make sure that the racing product works, that the cars are drivable, and the teams aren't forced into a weird, compromising position.
Yeah, so it's kind of one of those technical stories that sounds boring, but could actually massively affect the
Absolutely.
race.
Power unit balance affects overtaking, battery deployment, straight line speed, defending, attacking, everything really.
Yeah, and then going along the theme of the Alonso thing, it's all speculation at the minute. Verstappen was spotted at the Red Bull Hangar 7 with a lot of the Red Bull head honchos. Obviously, that's where their head office is, the Red Bull head office. And it's got a lot of people talking.
It did, because with all the noise about Max's future, every appearance gets analysed.
Yeah. So what do you think he could have been there to talk about? I've got my kind of...
Do you want me to be honest now, or do you want me to speculate? Do you want me to speculate now and then be honest later?
How about both?
Okay. Let's speculate. Let's speculate first. I think he could be leaving Red Bull. He could be having an argument, or he was meeting the Red Bull guys and having a chat. He was in the hangar getting a plane. There's nothing to it.
Yeah.
I don't believe there's anything there. He is their key figure, and if they were going to have a big, serious meeting,
wouldn't do it in hangar.
No, and also it wouldn't be decided there. Max would make a decision and inform them, and then they would talk about. There probably wouldn't even be a meet-up conversation. He's contractually obliged probably to every so often go and see them and be like, hey, we pay you millions and millions of pounds. How you doing? I can't come there. Why? Under the Visor might catch wind of this and start I really don't think there's anything in it. It could be. I think the worst it could possibly be is we hear you're a bit unhappy. What can we do?
That's what I thought.
But even that,
I was very much the same as you. I thought he's probably just popped in because he has to, or he was passing, or something like that, or he's gone. Hey boys, can I borrow your plane?
Yeah, he's got his own. But...
And if they have complained, or if there is something there, it is probably something's not quite right at the minute.
Yeah.
We need to sort this car out.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to get rid of Max. So it's definitely not that way. It would be Max leaving because let's be absolutely 100% on the same page here. Max is probably the best driver in Formula One at the moment. Very closely followed by, I think, Lando. I think Lewis is coming back on form, obviously, as well, so you can't ever write him off. I like that Lewis has chilled out a bit and not so much of a bell end at the moment. But
I wish you'd speak your mind.
Yeah, well, you know, if any Lewis fan cannot see that he used to be a bell end and just about publicity and I'm going to do a rap song and I'm going to do this. I didn't like his hair down, by the way. I thought that was ridiculous. But
I'm going to date a Kardashian.
Yeah, I'm going to date a Kardashian who's now banned from everything. But
did you see the towel she got?
Yeah. But so they're not going to get rid of Max. Max is a proven formula, and he wins. It is the car.
Yeah.
It'd be different if he was being outscored by Hadjar every weekend, but he's not. So anyway. Over to Barcelona.
So, Barcelona, then, yeah. It's always a big upgrade race, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Traditionally, it's a testing style circuit. So if your upgrade works in Barcelona, it usually gives you confidence.
Yeah, Ferrari bought quite a lot.
They did. They brought. Ferrari had the biggest package, I think, including front wing changes, a floor update, and a side pod related changes and stuff like that. And I think they did something to. Yeah, we did. I just said the front wing, didn't I? Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, Mercedes had a rear wing upgrade. McLaren revised their front wing end plate. Red Bull also bought front wing updates. Racing Bulls had front wing and diffuser changes. Williams had rear wing changes. Cadillac bought cooling and rear wing related updates. It didn't work. While
Alpine, that's a new team.
Alpine, yeah. Alpine, Upine, wheel screen for Alpine. While Alpine, Audi, and Aston Martin, all the A's, had no listed upgrades.
No, but I think Aston Martins are coming soon. And then we get to see very quickly who's found something, really. But yeah, I believe Aston Martins are coming. And I bet they cannot wait for it.
Which brings us nicely into the weekend.
Yes, it does, indeed. Do you want to start with FP1?
Yeah.
First practice session 1.
First practice 1. George Russell went fastest.
Yes. Russell topped first practice 1 for Mercedes, with Oscar Piastri in second, Charles Leclerc third, Max Verstappen was fourth.
You like that one that used to do the football scores?
Oh, the pools.
Halifax United 1. Western Superman 0.
Hartlepool versus Forest Green.
They've ruined it now.
Postponed. There was always postponed.
There were 7 rookies in the session as well, so they got a bit of an outing.
Yeah, there's normally a few sessions a year that the main driver will give up for the rookies. It's most important though, because several regular drivers sat out for the rookies to run.
Yeah.
Antonelli sat out for Fred Vasseur, or Vassetti, however you say it. Norris sat out for Leonardo I'm going to say Fragatellia. I don't know how you say his name.
Fornaroli.
Formaggio. Leonardo
Fornaroli.
Formaggio domande. Fornaroli. And others also gave up their seats as well.
Yeah, so it wasn't fully representative then.
Not completely, but still gave us some picture. Mercedes looked quick. McLaren were there. Ferrari were in the mix, and Carlos Sainz had an early issue where his Williams couldn't restart in the pit lane before we were back, a few moments later. And that was really it for FP1. There wasn't much else.
There wasn't a lot to report home on, no. First practice 2 was
I don't know why we're calling it first practice. We're idiots because it's actually free practice, isn't it?
It is, yeah, free practice, yeah.
Yeah.
Free practice 2. Lando Norris fastest.
Yes, Lando Norris topped. Free practice 2. I'm going to stop doing that. By 9/10 of a second with Russell, then Piastri. Only 0.057 seconds covered the top 3. And that's close.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that is literally nothing.
Exactly. FP2 also showed tyre wear. Grip.
Yeah.
And the grip was going to be more of a major theme over the whole weekend. Verstappen was struggling with grip on the hard tyres. Russell had a snap of oversteer in turn 3 and ran briefly into the runoff. And there was a brief virtual safety car when Liam Lawson, your favourite, Racing Bull, stopped exiting the pit lane.
Yeah, so it wasn't just a timing sheet. There was actually some warning signs there.
Yeah, definitely. McLaren looked strong. Mercedes looked quick, but everyone was trying to understand the high tyre wear.
Am I right in saying that this weekend, I know we mentioned earlier that Barcelona is a bit of a learning curve for testing.
Yeah.
But it was also the race where everyone had to use up tyre set. So do they get a certain amount of races to use the tyres and then it just fell on Barcelona?
No, so each race they get a tyre allocation.
Because I understand Barcelona is a hot place to be. Track temps were like 50 odd degrees at times. But it just, tyre wear was a massive theme throughout the weekend I kept seeing. And everyone was saying that it could potentially even be a 3-stop race for some people.
Yeah, so they used to go to Barcelona all the time to test. They don't so much now. I don't know what caused the really... I don't know why it was such a high wear circuit this time, because historically it's not that bad. Maybe it was the heat. Maybe it was Pirelli bought the wrong... Because as we've discussed before, there's a set of tyres, right? Big set of tyres. But the hard in Barcelona might be the soft
different
at
compound.
Silverstone. And the soft at Monaco is only going to be used at Monaco, probably. But that's what I mean, is they've got, say, a selection of 10 tyre compounds to use from, and they take a bit out of it. So that's what I mean by the hard here, maybe the soft somewhere else. Or the soft here, maybe the hard at Monaco. You see?
Okay, take note, McLaren, because the soft here isn't the wet everywhere else.
Exactly. So that could be an issue, is that Pirelli got it slightly wrong and brought tyres that were too soft, basically. They got them in the wrong window.
Fine, okay. And then FP3, we're back to Russell.
Yeah, Russell was fastest again in Piastri and Leclerc. Norris was 4th, with Hamilton 5th.
Yeah, Kimi?
Antonelli was only 7th. He struggled with traffic on his final runs and later received a reprimand for erratic driving.
Okay. And then there was a red flag, wasn't there?
Yes, Valtteri Bottas lost his brakes on his Cadillac and beached the car in the gravel at turn 10, which brought out the red flag.
Okay, so 2 red flags in a row. But by qualifying, Mercedes looked the team to beat. Yeah,
Russell...
Or going into qualifying, I should say.
Yeah, Russell definitely looked like he had a serious pace, but Ferrari and McLaren were close enough to make it interesting.
So then qualifying, Russell got pole.
A brilliant lap from Russell, actually. He said afterwards it felt like his old self again, whatever that means.
Yeah.
And you can see why Mercedes looked strong and Russell delivered. Again, when it mattered, it probably mattered 4 races ago, but when it mattered, let's say.
Yeah, better late than never.
suppose.
Kimi was right up there, though.
Yeah, Antonelli qualified third, but admitted he had been overdriving the car and struggling to fully extract a lap.
Which is kind of mad, because if that's him not fully comfortable, he's still very much at the front.
And that's why people are so excited about him. Even on weekends where it isn't perfect, he's still in the fight.
What about Ferrari then?
Hamilton was right there with Leclerc. He had a tougher one after his Q3 issues, but the race pace was the big question.
Okay. So, race day then.
Yeah.
Russell's on pole, Hamilton alongside him on the front row, Antonelli ends up third.
Yeah, and at the start, Russell gets the launch he needed. He led away from Hamilton, which is big because we know how quick the Ferraris are, with Antonelli tucked in behind him.
So Hamilton didn't just drive off into the distance on lap one then, like you would expect the Ferrari to do off the line.
Not at all. Ferrari started Hamilton on the soft tyre as well, but it didn't get him the lead at the start. The race became about strategy, tyre life, and timing, really.
Which Ferrari pretty much nailed.
Yeah, they did. Hamilton was put on a 3-stop strategy, and the key moment was the virtual safety car. Ferrari timed it perfectly. Hamilton gained what was effectively a free stop, and he rejoined. I mean, it couldn't have been more perfect. He rejoined in the lead.
No. I remember us watching it, and I think you said he doesn't need to come in.
Yeah. It was all a bit weird. It was very early, and then it was this, but because it literally started when he could go in the pits and ended when he exited the pits, it couldn't have been more perfect for him, really.
Yeah, and probably race-winning moment.
Oh yeah, pretty much. People have been talking about it. From there, Hamilton had the pace, pulled away, and eventually won by nearly 20 seconds.
Yeah, but right behind him, 20 seconds behind him, Mercedes were having their own battle.
Yeah, Anthony looked after his tyres better than Russell and was pressuring him towards the end of the stints. Late in the race, Antonelli finally made the move into that turn one to take second.
He was definitely quicker than George, and he was very vocal about that on the radio.
I did feel at the beginning of the race that they seemed to be trying to appease a baby and not upset George because he's too sensitive or stuff like that. They must have known he was quicker. Antonelli definitely could have stayed out on his tyres longer. I feel that it's obviously probably there's something in George's contract that says he's number one, but drive like a number one driver then, because he's not at the moment. Antonelli is clearly quicker, and I think after Silverstone we'll see, or definitely after the summer break, we'll see a different Mercedes if George hasn't made serious inroads into his championship. So,
no. And then we got some heartbreak.
Yeah, one lap later, Antonelli's Mercedes suffered a mechanical issue, and he was out. And he went from fighting for second to stranded at the side of the track.
Yeah, stranded at the side of the track. And remind me, he then pulled off parts of the car, threw them into the track, and his steering wheel. Oh, no, wait, he didn't do any of that.
He just got out and walked away with dignity. It was really weird.
Yeah.
He didn't throw anything at anybody. He didn't throw a strop. It was really strange.
No. But when the guy pulled up on the moped to pick him up, he just got on.
It was so strange. And then went back and talked to his team and tried to establish what the problems were and tried to fix them.
Yeah.
Really, really weird. Yeah. Never seen it before.
And then after the race, went up and congratulated Lewis.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling.
Brutal for his championship, though.
It's massive. He came with a 66-point lead, but Hamilton winning and Antonelli cut that to 41. It's still a big lead. We said he'll have his DNF at some point as well. He's had it now, and he's still 41 points in the lead. George is third. And he's dropped again behind Hamilton even more now. George actually, even though he gained points on Antonelli, he actually lost points to Hamilton, who is in second. So George, like I say, you watch after the summer break, I think there'll be some conversations in that camp. You're not winning. So.
And then we got Norris in third for making up our first all British podium since the 60s.
Yes. I've lost my fucking train of thought. Sorry. Right. Sorry. I lost my concentration. Yes, 1968 actually is when we had the last British podium.
You'll remember.
I was actually speaking to my dad today. He goes, "That's before I was married." I went, "Huh." We were married in 1969. Yes.
What about
Norris's podium? Norris completed the podium, obviously, for McLaren. He didn't quite have enough to fight Hamilton or Russell, but it was a strong recovery after McLaren's Monaco struggles as well.
Okay. What about Piastri then?
Piastri finished 5th after benefiting from Antonelli's retirement and Leclerc's late issues, but he still struggled with tyre management and couldn't really match the pace around him. And again, we go back to last year. Yes, everyone was saying, "Oh, Piastri's much better than Lando." Why isn't he being given space? He's not better than Lando. The car suited him maybe well last year, but Lando still beat him. Look at this year when the car is terrible. Who is getting the points and who is out qualifying who and who is doing better in the vehicle. So, pipe down.
Yeah. What about Max?
Verstappen finished 4th and described it as a lonely race, really. And Red Bull just weren't quite in the victory fight. But they're going to go and have some tea in a hangar somewhere and make sure people take photographs.
Yeah. Leclerc's race went wrong as well.
Yeah, Leclerc had already crashed in Q3, and then it was a big crash as well. If you haven't seen it, be on something. And then in the race, he retired late with hydraulic issues. That was quite a painful contrast with Hamilton was winning in the other Ferrari. So
yeah, and then Alonso at home.
Alonso retired on lap 40 with a battery issue. Which is especially painful given that he had said this was probably going to be his last Barcelona Grand Prix, but he did sell a few hats, so
yeah.
And
then Hulkenberg's DNF was a strange one. Liam Lawson obviously ruining it for everybody. Went wide at I think turn 12, hit the gravel then kicked up, hit Hulkenberg's car, and one single piece of gravel hit the emergency engine fire extinguisher, which cut the engine off and deployed the fire extinguisher.
That's such a random way to go out. I mean, that's so unlucky.
Yeah. It's just one of those incidents that you just couldn't even script.
Yeah, 100%.
And then after the race, we had another result change. Colapinto lost P8.
He did. Colapinto was given a 10-second penalty for a yellow flag infringement.
Flag infringement.
Yellow flag infringement. Easy for you to say.
Yeah. What happened?
Well, the steward said he had slightly reduced speed before entering the yellow flag zone, but didn't slow enough in the relevant yellow flag sector, so he dropped from P8 to P10.
Okay, which promoted Liam Lawson to P8 and Lindblad to P9.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Which kind of brings us back to what we were saying at the beginning of the episode, the conversation about Monaco. Should penalties be finalised before the podium?
For podium positions, ideally, yes. But even here, Colapinto wasn't on the podium, and it still changed the points.
So obviously it matters all through the field then when there's points involved.
Exactly. Points can affect the championship, bonuses, contracts, team standings, everything, really.
So what do we think the answer is then?
The FIA either needs to be faster decision-making where possible, or better communication so fans know what is still under investigation before the result is treated as final.
Because I appreciate the time between the race ending and the podium ceremony isn't that long, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. If you've got to have evidence submitted, review the evidence, all that, like last week, you're not going to be able to make that decision in that time. But at the minute, it just, and it maybe I'm just thinking this because we've had 2 races back to back where it's happened, but it's kind of feeling like the checkered flag doesn't always mean the end of the race.
Yeah, I mean, it's rare. We have had 2 back-to-backs, but also you couldn't start appealing stuff and waiting and all of this. The drivers would be there all night. So, yeah, it's just rare. It is rare. Monaco was a big one, and I haven't heard of that happening.
Yeah.
In my memory, I can't remember it happening. It probably has, but I can't remember it.
Okay. So, Tom, question for you. Are Ferrari back?
Steady.
I knew you'd say something like that.
They were excellent in Barcelona. Hamilton won. First race win for Ferrari. The upgrade looks promising. And Norris even suggested the Ferrari car is very strong in handling terms.
But, as we know, one race doesn't make a season.
Exactly. We need to see if the performance carries over on different circuits. It's not an overnight change. They are good at high-speed tracks. Barcelona is high-speed. Like I said in the last episode, I think he'll win Silverstone. I do. He just seems to be an absolute demon around Silverstone. But let's not run before we can walk.
No, but I did see something earlier where he joined McLaren, had a year, the next year won the title. Yeah. He joined Mercedes, had a year, the next year won the title. He joined Ferrari, he's had a year. He's now, appreciate 41 points behind, second in the championship. Could it?
And in fact, actually, if you go back through his career, him winning the title in the second year was disappointing when he came into Formula One, because he'd won all the other titles. The year he joined, he'd won the title. The year he joined, he won the title. Maybe we'll all be, me and you'll be wearing red by the end of the season, but we'll see.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, neither would I. But in fact, I'm going to surprise you one day, and you're going to open this up, and I'm going to be wearing a Ferrari t-shirt and go, I've changed allegiance. I'm now a Ferrari fan. Die hard. Yeah.
That's fine, because that'll be the same race I wear a racing balls. Lawson. Oh.
Yes. They'll never take our freedom. That's the same thing, right?
Sure. Right. Despite Mercedes having pole, Russell finishing second, Antonelli was heading for second, and then obviously we've had the reliability hit again.
And Total Wolf called it not good enough. That tells you how frustrated they are at the moment. They are leading the championship and the Constructors' title. It's not good enough. They need to sort it out.
Yeah, I mean, they can't really afford any more DNFs, really.
Exactly. You could be the fastest driver in the world, but if your car doesn't finish, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. No. But it does feel like another big learning moment for Antonelli.
It does, but not in a negative way. He didn't throw it away. The car failed him.
Yeah, so mentally it's just about that bounce back.
Yeah, exactly. And when you spoke to him afterwards, he was mature, disappointed, obviously, but not blaming everybody or throwing a strop.
Yeah, which is kind of championship leader behaviour.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, closing thoughts. Barca has given us Hamilton's first Ferrari win. Antonelli had heartbreak. Russell back on the podium with Norris keeping McLaren in the mix. Verstappen again saying Red Bull needs more. And we've got yet another post-race penalty changing the result.
And again, championship kind of feels alive again.
After Monaco, it felt like the FIA and the points thing was going to be the big talking point.
And after Barcelona, it's still penalties, but now it's also Ferrari.
And Hamilton.
Antonelli.
And Alonso potentially saying goodbye to Barcelona.
There's quite a lot happening, to be fair.
There is, yeah. But that is all we have for you guys for this week's episode of Under the Visor.
And if you enjoyed it, please make sure to follow the podcast, subscribe on YouTube, and follow us on the TikTok.
Yes, we have been trying to be consistent with the TikTok after all the bits and pieces of the weekend, posting a bit of a recap video. I will say sometimes real life gets in the way when we're parenting and having to work weekends as well. But we are posting as consistent as we can. So for all your F1 news and recaps, then yeah, head over to our TikTok. And we will be back next week to look ahead to Austria. We've got a week gap.
We do, and probably discuss another penalty that's appeared in 3 days after the race.
Yeah, but don't, because I don't think I can take any more steward documents.
Welcome to Formula One.
Yeah, well, thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.
Goodbye.